Joining us now is Northeastern State baseball coach Jake Hendrick. Coach, in your first season at the helm here, you've been able to lead the Riverhawks to the playoffs, to the postseason. Just from an overall standpoint, talk about how you think your first year has gone.
I think that going into the year, one of the goals definitely was to make the postseason again, because we feel like we've been heading in a really good direction as a program overall. Even as an assistant, we've made the postseason 2 years in a row, and that was something we definitely wanted to continue. As we move through the year, there's obviously always there's going to be ups and downs, and I think that probably the best thing you can say about this team is how they've responded late down the stretch. We really did hit probably our low point there in the middle, which is okay. It's okay to hit that as long as you turn around and can finish strong, get yourself in the postseason. Obviously, finishing with the 6th seed is a positive, because we went into the weekend knowing we were going to be somewhere between 5th and 8th, and 5th would have been a tall task against Missouri Southern, but to finish 6th was a big thing for us. And honestly, in our locker room, we came back from Hayes after getting swept, and we knew that 12 wins is what we felt like would get us in the postseason. And we addressed the guys and made it very black and white that we need to win 12 of the last 19. We need to find a way to do that. And we actually got to 12 on Sunday against Southern, 12 of 18, because we lost a game. So that was a big milestone for the team, for the group. Not an outside milestone for anybody else, but just for us.
Like you said, coming back from that Hayes sweep, that team's always good at home, so that was just a tough place to go get swept. But you looked at your schedule and you knew you had Emporia State, Central Missouri, just the horses of the conference coming up, and you were able to take a game off of Emporia. You won a series against Central Missouri, the only team that was able to do that all season long. So just touch a little bit about on the resilience of the team and how important those wins were.
Yeah, I mean that's really, how you said it is exactly right. We went in and those last 19 games, just how we addressed the team was, hey, this is the toughest part of our schedule here, and you got to find a way to win 12 to get yourself in to still compete for some of the goals that we have that we want to achieve as a group this year. And so, coming back from that and knowing we had those guys in line who are going to be tough no matter what. You get Emporia, you get Central Missouri, you get Missouri Southern, who won the league last year, and then not to mention midweeks with UCO. So, we knew it was going to be tough coming down the stretch to get 12, and to be able to do that, and resiliency is probably a good word, even though once we got going and we had won 6 or so and we started hitting it, we knew we were going to have a chance to get there. It was just about continuing to play good baseball and be fundamental, and we really have gotten better as the year's gone on.
Well, with that being said, you seem like you have a pretty solid rotation right now. Both your starters and coming out of the bullpen, and then you have your lineup pretty much set at this point. A couple of tweaks here and there, but for the most part, you seem pretty set. So just talk about where you feel like the team is, lineups and pitchers.
That's probably the best thing that's happened, for us throughout the years. I use the word identity with our guys a lot, and I think we were searching for what is our identity going to be, what roles are players going to fill, and are they going to be comfortable in those roles? And it maybe took a little longer to figure out, hey, exactly what piece fits where, and we had some injuries along the way that you're always going to battle, but who's going to step up and take on a specific role, whether that's coming off the bench and being a defensive replacement or being the Friday night guy. We started Parrish early in the year as the number 3 guy, just because we didn't want to put the workload of being a Friday night guy on a freshman, but he's just gotten better and better and better as the year's gone on. So he just took that role and he's run with it, and other guys have done the same thing. Shane Bridges at the top, Eric Kirkpatrick in the middle, and then you're seeing guys like Jamie Grazier, Gabe Worth, some guys like that come off the bench and be defensive replacements and actually do really good things for us down the stretch that helped us get to those 12 wins.
Outside of Parrish, all the guys you've mentioned so far have been seniors. Just talk a little bit about the senior class and how much they've meant to you in your first year as a head coach.
Yeah, I think the program as a whole, obviously I knew the guys that were coming back because I'd been here. So I knew I would have to lean on those guys to really lead the charge, and it was going to be most important that those guys bought in. Not that we tried to reinvent the wheel or anything, but anytime you have somebody new take over, you're going to need some buy-in from guys to get things rolling the direction that you want them to roll. And I think that probably that Hayes series is a series that we look at where, we had to have some serious heart-to-hearts with guys, and our seniors really did step up and say, this is the way it's going to look moving forward. And they held, those younger guys and the whole team. They held the whole team accountable for what was going on. And, it propelled us to where we're at now. And now we're going into the tournament feeling pretty good about ourselves with, I feel like we have every opportunity to go make a great showing in a very, very tough tournament.
Well, you've done it before. In your first year, you did make the semifinals. Let's segue to the tournament a little bit. Your first opponent's going to be Washburn. You haven't seen them since early in the season. They've obviously had a great end of the year. The last basically half of the season, they've just been on fire. And then win or lose, you're going to play Emporia State or UCO with the next game. So just talk a little bit about your preparation for the conference tournament and what you expect out of those teams.
You look at every team. We spent time as soon as the bracket came out. We spent time on scouting reports on every single team. And what you're going to get is you're going to get teams that can really pitch, that are playing with a lot of confidence, people in the middle that can really swing the bat. I mean, it's going to be competitive all the way from 1 down to 8. There's not a team that's in the tournament that you feel like, man, they just don't stack up with somebody else. I think that there's the potential for lower seeds to beat higher seeds all the way across. I think it's going to be very, very interesting and very difficult. Whoever finds a way to play great baseball for 4 days is going to have earned, that MIAA Championship to the fullest, because I think that the parity between those 8 teams, it's very, very close, and it's going to be just like the regular season. Every game is so difficult.
A new format this year with all 8 teams going to the same site. You guys are going to go to St. Charles, home of Lindenwood. So talk a little bit about the format and how excited, just some of the differences between that and the way it was in the past.
I think it gives a really nice postseason feel to what's going on. When you're playing a 3-game set every weekend throughout the season, if we were to turn around and, like years past, like you alluded to, went to play a 3-game set with Washburn, it wouldn't feel like this tournament feels. You can see what it's going to take to win this thing, and everybody's going to be there together. And I think that gives I think it gives more of a postseason feel than going into a best 2 out of 3 at someone else's place, which is something I'm excited about. I think it helps the parity of the group. And another nice thing, at least for me, and the way we're addressing it, is you really have the ability to take it 1 game at a time. It's not a deal where we're going to go play Washburn 3 days in a row. It's, hey, we're going to play Washburn on Thursday, and that's all that is set in stone. After that, we're going to address as a team who we have to face the next day and what we have to do to be successful against a completely different team.
All right, Coach Hendrick. Well, we are all excited to see how you do in your first run of the postseason as head coach. Best of luck to you against Washburn, and best of luck in the conference tournament.
Thank you.